Hello guys, and welcome back to the Barbados Walker YouTube channel. This is another beautiful episode. Today we are going to be driving from the Barbados Grantley Adams International Airport all the way to Bridgetown. That is our goal for this video. And right in front of us, you can see this building with some spiky pointy heads thing. That is where the airport is, on our right hand side. So we are going to drive forward. We'll meet a small roundabout, we'll turn right, and you will see the airport. This is the only international airport in Barbados, and as such, and because of how popular Barbados is as a very fantastic tourist site for so many people in the United States, in Canada, in the UK, and so on and so forth, this airport processes a lot of people every single year. For context, Barbados has about 200 or so thousand people, its population, but this airport processes over 2 million people every year. 2 million people pass through this airport, whether they're coming to Barbados, leaving Barbados, passing through Barbados, so on and so forth. This airport is very, very busy. So that is a very interesting fun fact about the airport. The airport was named after Sir Grantley Herbert Adams, right? It was named after him, and he was the first premier of Barbados and the only Barbadian prime minister of the former West Indies Federation. That is very interesting history that I didn't know about before I decided to make this video. So the airport has a very interesting history for many other reasons. One of the interesting things about this airport is that the Concorde plane, for those of you who are into planes and aviation and stuff like that, you will know what the Concorde is. If you don't know, Google it. Very impressive plane for many reasons. It actually landed on this airport. It actually came to this airport. And on my left hand side, from where I am right now, on my left hand side, there is actually a museum that you can go there and see a real life Concorde and actually enter into the plane. It's on display, and that place is called the Concorde Experience Museum. If I get the opportunity one of these days, I'm going to take you guys with me in there and we can have a very beautiful look at that museum. All right, so where we're passing right now is the departure. This is where you come to leave Barbados, right? So you go there, you have your luggage checked in and so on and so forth. I made a full video about the airport and you can go and watch it. I'm going to link it somewhere, so you can go and watch it after this video. It's a very beautiful video. And in front of us is arrivals. So when people come into Barbados, that is where they are going to come out from. And you notice that in front here you have so many taxis, the big taxi buses, taxis. You have some taxis like they look like jeeps and so on and so forth. So this is if you're coming to the island and you don't have anybody here that you've already made friends with, that can come and pick you up, or you can just tell one of the taxi guys where you're going and they will tell you the price before you even get into the taxi and the estimate and so on and so forth, and you can get to where you're going. On the other hand, you can use Pickup Barbados. Pickup Barbados, I think it's called Pickup Caribbean, I'm not sure. Just go to the app store and type Pickup Barbados and it's going to pop up. And you can see different, it's kind of like Uber. If you're familiar with Uber or Bolt or Lyft or those kind of taxi apps, it's basically the same kind of app. It tells you the estimate of where you're going, how much it's going to cost, and so on and so forth. And then you call a cab. There are some that are already here in the airports that use the pickup app. The taxis use the pickup app and they're already here in the airports. There are some that are maybe in Bridgetown, which is very close by, or around the airport, and once you request a taxi, they'll be here in like 10 minutes to pick you up. So that is another way that you can get from the airport to where you're staying in Barbados. So right now we're leaving the airport and we're going to be headed to Bridgetown, which is the capital of Barbados, right? And it is also, I think I read this somewhere, it is the only city in Barbados. So if you notice, if you have friends who are living in Barbados, all their cities in the fields where they're supposed to fill city, everything is going to be Bridgetown. However, there are some people who use the parishes as the city address. So where they say city, some people feel Christchurch or St. Michael or whatever. The important thing is that your package still gets to you. That is something I like about Barbados. Whether you're filling your address with Bridgetown as the city or your parish as the city, your package still gets to your house. So I think the delivery system here is very, very efficient and very nice, that small mistakes like that are not severely penalized, right? This will be very different in a country that has like big cities and different, address, like the address has to be specific and all of that. But here, once you get your house address and the parish, specifically, so if you live at number 1 something street, Christchurch, once you get that information, then however you order it or whatever, it doesn't really affect how your package, whether or not your package gets to you. So that's something very fun about Barbados. All right, so what else should we know about the airport as we are leaving the airport? Let me see. What do I remember? Oh, I remember one during World War II. During World War II, Barbados was actually a military airfield, right? The airport was actually a military airfield that was used by the US Army Air Forces. So, the Barbados airport is actually big. The runway is actually big enough and wide enough that it can accommodate a full Boeing 747, and it can also accommodate a full military plane, US military plane. And those things are huge. So that is how big the Barbados airport is. And there's so many planes that touch down and take off from here multiple times a day, processing over 2 million people in a single year. So that is very interesting information. In front of us is DHL's office. So you can see it, we're passing it right now. And if you ship anything from DHL, or if somebody ships anything with DHL to you, it comes here and you can pick it up from here, or they can deliver it to your house, whichever one you want. But another interesting thing about here is that if you're coming to Barbados to process a UK visa, right? Because a lot of people come here to process their UK visa, especially people around the Caribbean, because some of the Caribbean nations around here have to come here to process their visas. So if you're coming here, this is actually the building you come to, right? If you look on the Google Maps and you're trying to find where to do your UK visa, you may see their old address, which is still listed on Google Maps for some reason, I don't know. But the actual interview and everything you need to do takes place at this DHL location near the airport. So there is a small office that you go to. It's not handled by DHL itself, but there is an office in that DHL building that you go to, and then that is where your whole interview and your information is going to be processed. So in case you didn't know that, well, now you know. When you're coming to Barbados, for your UK visa, come to the DHL near the airport. Don't go to what you see on Google Maps, unless after the making of this video they change the address to this place, then that's fine. But make sure you're coming to the DHL office near the airport, and then tell them you're here for a UK visa interview, and they're going to directly to you accordingly. If they change the address and they move to somewhere else, then stay updated. You can call them, you can ask questions, and so on and so forth. All right, I don't know the name of this area. I remember in a video yesterday, somebody was saying that I don't know the name of the beaches in Bridgetown that are passing, but I don't go there often. if I don't go to a place often, I usually don't remember the name. So I know a lot of the names of the popular places. Like I'm always in Bridgetown, so I know almost every street in Bridgetown. All the Swan Street, Middle Street, Broad Street. I know almost every store in Bridgetown by name. But if I don't go to a place often, then I won't know the name of the place, even though I live here. Alright, so I have a lot of homework to do. Maybe the first thing I'm going to do is to make videos about all the beaches in Barbados, so that I can do enough research on them to remember their names and so on and so forth. I did a video on Rockley Beach, and now I know Rockley Beach by name. And that's basically it. I don't know the name of any other beach. None. Zero. So that is crazy. So I think I need to do a video on each of the beaches, so that, because before every video I have to do like basic research to know where I'm going to be walking around, what I should show you guys, what you guys would like to see, and so on and so forth. So during that time, I get to see the name of the location multiple times. Like the name will just keep coming up and coming up. So it's impossible to forget something after you've extensively researched it, right? But then another thing is that I don't want to, even though I research a place a lot, sometimes I feel like just showing you the place and having you enjoy it will be much a better experience for you than me telling you about all the ancient history and different things that I found out about the place that are so fascinating and so on, unless you guys actually want me to tell you all of that. Okay, I think here we go left, right? We go right. Let's go right. All right, so now when we go down, we're going to be reaching Oistins. Yeah, I think we're on the right road. It gets confusing sometimes which road I'm following. Okay, so when we go down here, we are going to be at Oistins. Oistins, the place where they have the Oistins Fish Fry every Friday, it looks completely different every other day except Friday. When you go to Oistins area, the fish fry area specifically, any other day at any other time, it just looks like, okay, this is a nice place. You can come here, you can eat, you can buy some stuff. There are souvenirs here that you can get, things to remind you about Barbados. Everything is beautiful. But when you come on Friday from around maybe 7 p.m. or 6 p.m., I'm not sure when exactly they start, there's so much nightlife. bubbly. You have all the restaurants are packed full. There's music, there are shows, people selling souvenirs. All of them come out. There's so many nice things you can buy. It's just amazing how it transforms compared to every other day. So now we are passing the, okay, it's directly in front of us. If you turn left here, there's a public car park, and you can park your car there free of charge. In front of us here is the Christchurch post office, and there's also an ATM here that you can withdraw money by Republic Bank. So it's called the blue machine. Anywhere you see blue machine, it means that there is an ATM by the RBC. Okay, I think it's called RBC. Republic Bank and RBC are doing the same thing. Probably. Here we have reached the Oistins Fish Fry area, specifically the area where you have the Oistins Fish Fry, the famous Oistins Fish Fry. Above us, you see these fish signs. They light up in the night, and it's a very huge tourist attraction. So here on my left hand side, there are restaurants and people go there and eat and buy stuff, but you see how it's just looking normal like this, it's a normal place. Friday night you come back here and everybody is here. The entire Barbados and all the neighboring islands and the whole of the United States of America and Canada all come to this one location, and it's packed full with so many people. You can meet people from practically everywhere around Barbados. You can meet people from St. Lucia, from the Bahamas, from the US, from Canada, from the UK, from Australia. You can meet so many people in this one location. And it doesn't happen once a year or once a month. I'm talking about every single Friday. It's really fascinating every time I come. And then occasionally, I don't know how often, but there's the Oistins Fish Festival. I think that's what it's called. And if you think the normal Friday has a lot of people, wait till you see the number of people that show up during the festival. It's so much, so many human beings in one place. It's very cool. So if you like that kind of stuff, make sure you come to the Oistins. You need to experience it at least once. Just come any random Friday, pick a Friday and come to this place, and you're going to enjoy it really, really well. Here there's a Massey stores. I haven't made a video about this Massey, but you've seen my whole town Massey. You've seen the other Masseys that I've made. I made one in Warrens and stuff, so it's generally similar. It looks similar. All the Masseys look similar, sell relatively similar things, and so you can expect the same quality standard that you're used to in Massey to be in almost all its shops, right? Some, because of the location, might be bigger than others. Like I think the one in Massey, the one in Warrens is probably the biggest. I'm not sure. Between the one in Warrens and the one in Old Town, I don't know which one is bigger. And I'm talking about the Massey for groceries, not for like home appliances and stuff like that. Groceries specifically. But I don't know which one of them is bigger. Anyway, on this road, mostly you see apartments, right? Because when people come to Barbados, they really, really love the Oistins area. If you live at the Oistins area, which is South Coast side, you have access to practically everything. It's about 5 minutes from the airport. It's 0 minutes from the beach. You're basically living on the South Coast. So if you just come out of your apartment and walk towards the beach, you'll be there in no time, right? So it's right on the beach, and there are many beaches around here that you can go to, which is nice. It has very, very good transport. You see all these ZR bus coming. Look at one ZR bus just passed right now. It has very good like transport system. You have number 10, you have number 11, you have, I think you also have 3D that comes here, and they pass very regularly. So if you're trying to get back home from Bridgetown, you will always find a bus that will bring you back home, and you don't have to wait for long. Just now as I was talking, a bus passed. Look at another 11 right in front of us passing again, right? And before I finish this video, we'll probably see like 3 more. Oh look, there's 3D passing again, right? So it has very nice transportation. You have ZR always passing, and this same ZR, when they get to the bus stop at Oistins, some of them turn there or keep going past there. You can drop off there, but then they also come back on this same road to take you to Bridgetown. So the same buses can also take you to Bridgetown, and from here to Bridgetown is probably like a what, 10-15 minute drive. I don't know. It's short, very short. And even on days when there is a lot of traffic, or times when there's a lot of traffic, like 5 p.m. in the evening when there's a lot of traffic, it still feels short because it's on the same like south coast, and you don't have to go like into the center of Bridgetown or anything to get back home or to get from Bridgetown. So people like living here because it's close to everything. It's close to the beach. You have a massive stores near you. You have a Soul gas station near you. You have Oistins Fish Fry near you. You have a place where you can buy souvenirs. You have all those things right there at Oistins. And if you want, you can go to Bridgetown. And Bridgetown has everything else that you don't have at Oistins. So you have the big shops, the big stores, the banks, the what else do you need in Bridgetown that you can't find here? I don't know. Everything else that you can't find in Oistins, you'll most likely look at another buses passing, right? So this just shows you the amazingness of the transport here at Oistins. So naturally, most of the houses, or not most, but many of the houses here at Oistins are going to be apartments for rent, so that visitors, tourists, foreigners, people moving to Barbados, they can live here, right? So I think here it's called the Maxwell area. I don't know whether it's called Maxwell Street or Maxwell, I don't know, but I know it's called Maxwell. So probably Maxwell Street. I will stick to Maxwell Street, but you can look it up, right? So this area, there's so many of all the different parts of Barbados. This is where you will find the most tourists, the most foreigners in Barbados, right here on the south coast in Barbados. The other place where you might expect to see many visitors is West Coast, but West Coast is a different caliber of visitors. It's the caliber of visitors that have moolah, money, cheese, dough, plenty colored paper, because that side is luxury. The West Coast is also nicknamed the Platinum Coast. You have straight up Michelin star level restaurants there. You have 5-star accommodation and luxury. You get treated like royalty. You get treated very nice. Those hotels and apartments there are really, really good at what they do. In fact, Tiger Woods married in one of those places. I can't remember which of the hotels, but he got married there, and he spent an estimate of, was it, oh my goodness, it was a lot of millions. My brain probably formatted it, right? So when people want to do destination weddings, when people want to do like very big, life-changing, amazing ceremonies that they want to remember for the rest of their lives, when people want to mark an occasion, they come to Barbados. They go to the West Coast. They find something there, one of the accommodations there that they really like, and then they stay there for a while, a week, a month maybe, and they have the best experience of their life. And it's interesting because you have really nice places in the US, you have really nice places in UK and Australia and Canada and all these places, but Barbados gives you those same things, but not at the ridiculously exorbitant prices that those places will charge, right? So you're getting, because in places like the US now, because of inflation and because of consumerism and because of all the culture there, almost all the prices like skyrocket of luxury items, right? They just go through the roof because more people want to be associated with it, more people buy it, and normal demand and supply laws will make it go through the roof. But in Barbados, you have a different culture and you have a different type of people here. So you don't have the same going through the roof of prices for luxury goods. So yes, they're still like expensive for the average person, but they're not as expensive for the average millionaire because he's used to seeing way more expensive prices for similar services. So I think that is why a lot of people like Barbados, because they get what they're looking for at really, well, relatively really good prices. They're still expensive for the average human being on earth, but not crazy for the average person who is used to that level of service and that kind of, experience. Generally. Okay, now we are around, I think we're getting towards Hastings now. Yes. No, not yet. Probably not yet. But there's a beach on my left-hand side. This beach on my left-hand side, I've made a video about it. It's called the Rockley Beach. Now that I say it out loud, I think we're in Rockley. Because if that is the Rockley Beach, then naturally we should be in Rockley. Right? Somebody help in the comment section. Are we in Rockley right now? Blink twice for yes, and blink once for no. And here you have some hotels. You have the Accra Hotel. That is a huge hotel right here, and it's very nice, I'm told. Sometime soon, but I have a lot of schoolwork right now. I'm currently getting my master's degree. Is also why I didn't post for like a month on the channel, because during that time my lecturers wanted my head on a platter. They gave me some incredibly insane assignments. I was convinced that they were working for a secret shadowy government that wants my head on a platter. Luckily for me, I was able to pull through and I got A's in both of those courses. So I'm very grateful to God Almighty for seeing me through what was arguably the hardest month of this year so far. But I'm going to be wrapping up I think I have one final course that I'm supposed to wrap up this month. Not this month, this is June. Next month, July, yes. So next month I have one final course that I'm going to wrap up. The workload isn't as much anymore, which is obviously why I'm now posting more videos. And once I finish that, I will be done with my MBA, Masters of Business Administration in International Business. And I'll be done with that, and I'll finally be an MBA holder. That's so amazing. Looking forward to it. And I will have more time for a while to create amazing videos on this channel. And I'm thinking during that time, when I have more free time to, go around, walk around, drive around, spend hours of time on the road talking about beautiful places in Barbados, maybe during that time I'll have the opportunity also to get into some of these very amazing hotels and show you my perspective from the inside, eat some of their beautiful meals. I went to one amazing restaurant at Spice Sound for my birthday in March. Ladies and gentlemen, if I tell you that I developed a British accent for a week after that experience, my goodness, they had even the bathroom. See, look, I like when the service of a place is spectacular. All right, before I continue this story, you see this big building here? They have been building it for quite a while now, and it was covered, but now they have removed the covering, which means they have made significant progress and it's almost going to be finished. Now we have some speculations about what it will be, me and my friends. Some people say it might be a hotel, other people say it will be a place where there will be, shops and people can rent it. I don't know. But I want to ask you guys a question. What do you think it will be? And maybe some of you actually know exactly what it is going to be, what they're building. So if you do, please leave it in the comments and let's know more about it. Maybe in a few months or weeks, I don't know how far they've gone, it will be open for business, and then we will know exactly what it is. And maybe I may even visit it if it's a mall. I like visiting new malls, as you already know on this channel. All right, and then this is something else that they're making here. I don't know what this one is going to be either. Probably I don't know. I can't even guess what this one is going to be. But let's see. All right. So, about that place, they had so many. This is how I judge establishments, especially restaurants. The first thing that I look at is not even the prices, because anybody can write that a plate of food is $150. That doesn't mean anything. It just means that you want a lot of money for this plate of food, to me at least, right? But what I judge first of all is, how is the establishment arranged? Like, just physically, beautifully, aesthetically. Where are the chairs positioned? What colors are you using? What does your lighting look like? What materials are you using for decoration? I entered this place for my birthday. Ladies and gentlemen, it blew my mind. My mind was sufficiently exploded just by the aesthetics alone. I said, okay, on aesthetics you get 10 over 10. I'm good with that. Next metric of measurement is service. I need to know whether you can serve your guests and make them feel special. You see, it's one thing to serve your guests. It's another thing that when you serve your guests, they feel special. There are some places in Barbados that you'll buy a $10 meal, and I'm not even exaggerating, a $10 meal, 20 Bajan meal, and they will make you feel like You just spent $200 with them. That is service, man. You feel good. They treat you nice. And it's not that they're going to bow down to you and clean your shoes or something. No, it's just how they talk. Thank you very much. You need to experience it, man. I can't explain it. They probably learn some hospitality stuff. I don't know how they get so good at this thing. Anyway, the service. When we sat down, there was one guy that came. He was what they call them, waiters. I don't know what his title was, but he was the guy that would come and take your orders and get you stuff. And he came to us and we told him what we wanted. They had very nice food in that place. The chef was legendary. Okay, if you're at a restaurant and the chef can't cook, leave. Because it doesn't matter whether everybody else is great. If the chef messes it up every time, there's one place, I'm not going to mention them, but they also serve pizza there. I don't want to give them bad publicity. Maybe they're better now. But I went there about 3 times. Every single time they burnt my pizza. That is horrible. You have great staff, great waiters, great manager of the establishment. Everybody is great. Chef is burning pizzas. It just ruins your entire experience, right? So always make sure that there are good things being said about the chef. Oh, the chef can cook, the food is good. So at least you know that you're getting good food, even if everything else is bad. At the very least, you get what you paid for. So this chef was legendary. But the waiter was doing when he came to serve, it was like a dance, man. He pick up the plates, he drop the plate, he come from your left hand side, move. It was like, I don't know if you watch those people do some Tai Chi stuff, and the way they move around the table, no wasted movement, no obstruction of flow. Nothing was wrong with this guy's movement. Everything was magnificent. It was like he was walking on water the whole time. Then I said, okay. Place looks aesthetic. These guys can cook. The beef was spectacular. Look, I will pardon you for cooking anything bad to a degree, right? If it's still edible, I will pardon you for doing it bad. But if you mess up chicken and you mess up beef, we can't be friends anymore. That's it. Friendship done. Because that is a threat on the national security of my happiness. Chicken and beef are things that were created by God to bring joy onto the surface of the earth. You can't be messing it up. At the very least, you should know how to boil, roast, and fry them. And season them properly. But when I tell you this chef didn't just do that successfully, but went over and beyond. Woo! I said, okay, I'm going to judge you on my final metric. What was my final metric? The bathroom. If you go to an establishment, sometimes everything is perfect, and you go to the bathroom and it's just like, somebody didn't flush, something is off, it's not clean, it smells bad, there's water leaking on the floor, so on and so forth. There's always one problem or the other. I went to this establishment's bathroom, ladies and gentlemen, and I couldn't differentiate between whether I was standing in a bathroom or whether I was standing in a 5-star bedroom. This place had fragrance that the last time I experienced this level of atmospheric conditioning was inside a hotel bedroom. These guys put it in their bathroom. The mirrors were spotless. When I say it looked like a door into another dimension, if not that I saw the frames of the mirror, it was clean, man. The sink was breathtakingly beautiful. Everything about the bathroom. These are the normal bathroom things. Then we had some nice decorations. The lights were twinkling. They had some, hanging. Oh my God. You see, if I was into real estate, I could have told you the names of these things. But I don't know their names. I just know when I entered, I looked back out and asked, is this the bathroom? And they said yes. Before you actually see the actual toilet pole, you experience an ambience, an environment, and then you open a small, nice looking door, and then you see the toilet pool. I said, man, 11 over 10. Normally I give people 10 over 10, highly recommend. No, 11 over 10, definitely recommend. And that, ladies and gentlemen, wasn't a Michelin star place. No, it wasn't. It was just a restaurant in Speightstown. So sometimes I imagine what happens when you enter a Michelin star restaurant. Do they feed you and your ghost just leaves your body and meets Jesus? What exactly happens? If this place didn't have a Michelin star and they were just a restaurant and they did this, then what exactly happens in Michelin stars? If the hotels are not 5-star hotels and they're doing that, then what happens in 5-star hotels? These are questions that we will explore on the Barbados Walker at some other time, pending the availability of financial backing in my bank account. But seriously speaking, I would like to actually go to these places and tell you about them, what I found there. All right.